And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the Intel Gamer Days Valorant Community Cup. We're now here at the home stretch, the last two games, ladies and gentlemen, to see exactly who will be crowned as the champions. Will it be either one of these squads, or will it be Chill Courts just sitting up in that grand final stage? They got that one-way ticket from that upper bracket round, but these two teams, they have fought through tooth and nail to get to this stage, to get a chunk of that prize pool, or even fight for that lion shares that Chill Court have pretty much claimed because of the statistics that they do have in this tournament. 3 lakh INR is on the line, with the winners getting 2 and the runners-up getting 1. If you bow out at third place, either let it be Rat Syndicate or Team Asterisk, you know you are going to be sad because you're going to be going home without even a single dime to your name.
Yeah, aggressive. I mean, I completely agree with you. This was the format. We started with qualifiers where it was a best of one single eliminations, which started from 24th of August and it ended on 28th. Then started the playoffs. This is the last day of the playoffs where you'll see the two teams fighting for that one slot of that grand final so that they can face Shilcord, who are just waiting for tomorrow's grand finals, which is going to happen tomorrow. And that is also going to be a best of three series. I mean, how often do we see these kind of grand finals with best of three series, right? We always see those best of fives happening, right? Aggressive. But then when it's a best of three, it becomes much more competitive. In front of our screens, we have the brackets right now. The upper bracket quarterfinals started with Diversity Esports and Rat Syndicate, where Rat Syndicate beat Diversity 2-0 and they went ahead and faced Chilcord. But Chilcord, I mean, they were superb and they went ahead and faced GANGAN Galaxy in the upper bracket finals and they went ahead towards that grand final slot. I mean, Chilcord had their ways sorted. They were one of the favorites coming into this tournament and they made sure that name stays, like that.
Absolutely. This is where the real start of it is all going to begin, ladies and gentlemen. There's going to be moments where you can tell that Asterisk as a team, they should be again the ones to win up against GANGAN Galaxy, because we've seen GANGAN Galaxy really struggle up against their match on those upper bracket stages, because Chilcord just proved that they don't really have the mechanical prowess and of course the utility prowess in some situations to go up against them. But here in the lowers, Asterisk, a much more structured team, Antidote being one of those coaches that have really proven to be that X factor for that squad. Because as soon as a pause comes in, instantly the round will just start to roll in for their favor. They change their dynamic. They find a lot more structure in their overall setup. Mistakes just instantly get put to a halt. Stuff like this is very rare. Even when your coach takes a pause, there are certain moments where you as a team just cannot take a victory. But in the way that the side of Asterisk have been playing, they have certain strategies that are so impenetrable that the map of Corrode getting picked up for their side, this is probably the best move that they could have made, because Corrode arguably will be a very difficult map for the members of GANGAN Galaxy to really get a hold of. But then again, I'm not spelling doom out for them just yet, because Asterisk as a team, they have showcased that they can bleed, and it's really dependent on whether or not Kibon's gonna be able to set up his team for a lot of these fights. Because if Kibon's not really able to find that early bit of information, or if he gets caught out first, the members of Asterisk have a tendency of just getting lost for at least 10 or 15 seconds in a round, and that could be the opening that GANGAN Galaxy need to really turn around this one.
True. I mean, watching Asterisk playing yesterday, they were superb on that lower bracket run, right? Aggressive. I mean, specifically with how Caramel and Ryzen was, handling those situations. And I mean, you saw the last game, right? You were there for the last map. It went ahead towards that decider. And we were so interested that how Asterisk will, plan things out against a team like Rat Syndicate, who we thought that are one of the favorites as well alongside Chilcot. But then GANGAN Galaxy and Asterisk, the stage is set. They have locked in the agents, locking horns at this point of time. Few seconds left out before we jump into the first map. Aggressive.
Yeah, we're gonna need to see where this is gonna go. The map of Corrode really has put a little bit of a marker in our minds on whether or not they're gonna be able to do so. But there are certain instances where I do believe that GANGAN Galaxy really do have what it takes as a team to really go that distance, really showcase to us that, hey, we as a squad can really prove that even up against great teams such as Asterisk, even up against those structured squads, we can of course use our adaptability and of course the years of experience that we have gained playing this
Yeah.
game to its fullest caliber. You have to remember, a player of Sangram's caliber was put to a halt by Mighty. Mighty has been an absolute treat to watch in every single game that he played. It doesn't matter who he goes up against, even when he was up against Benga in his prime. Like, I could tell that Premda
Yeah.
was playing out of his mind, hitting every shot that was being presented to him. It just didn't matter for Mighty because Mighty was able to go toe to toe against him whenever it was required. Stuff like this does not happen often. A player of his caliber is built to the core to make sure his team
Correct.
is able to gain victory. But is it gonna be a repeating case for a lot of these rounds though? That's what we need to know soon. But there's a lot of buts and ifs that we have to consider whenever you're
Yeah.
considering a player of their caliber, because
Correct.
Mighty is as good as the supports that are behind him. And if his supports
Yeah.
are not able to give him that level of utility that is required, and Yash gets even better utility than him, then it doesn't matter how good of a gamer you are. Your supports are going to be the main thing that enable you to make those aggressive plays happen. Knight Riders in that category has just been falling a little bit too short, and that's understandably so because he's not really that initiator player. He was always that
Yeah.
player that we knew to play on that duelist role, play on that sentinel role, and really make it work. But in this squad, he doesn't really have that luxury. He needs to flex to something that he's generally not.
Yeah, true. I mean, Mighty and Ginola has been those two players, behind Gun Galaxy's success. And if these two players are not stepping
True,
out or
absolutely.
stepping up, I think Gun Galaxy has fell short always. We have seen this against the in the upper bracket finals of the we saw how Chilcord tapped onto those situations. Only Mighty was the one who was trying to get those situations, or I think through individual brilliance he could convert few rounds on Karod. Now,
Absolutely.
watching what happened against Chilcord, they would have a better way of preparing. They now know what the loopholes were in the team, and I'm sure that they might be able to tap in what Asterisk might find something difficult. But then the way we were talking about, and me and Salty were discussing also yesterday, that how Antidote has made a change, right? And suddenly, once he has joined as a coach, and once he is there right behind the boys at the boot camp, that presence, and that that those strategies, those discussions, the correct timing when to take a pause, those moments were coming in, right? And which helps a lot, strategically. And also some mind games can also be played against your opponents, where you just want to break the flow. You need not have to discuss any points, you just need to take a breather, and that is what is required. So yeah, not hyping too much about Antidote, but then the players have really done well, specifically Yash on that duelist. I mean, I would love to see him do that again on today, because he will be required once Asterisk wants to win this best of 3 series.
Absolutely. We're gonna need to see where they're gonna go with this one as asterisk for now. Already trying to find an instantaneous catch over on the one at the bare minimum. Even then, shots yet to connect here. Already positions are good for the members of Asterisk. One by one, they're able to get the kills, and the poor old members of GANGAN Galaxy. The round just started. Okay, wait. It already just started. It's done and dusted with positions just a little bit more superior coming out from their side, but never mind. Knight Rider, beautiful 2 taps coming in with the Headhunter. Does get caught off by Caramel though. It's Asterisk now. They do get this round for themselves. A little bit of a stability round. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied a little bit, especially after those 2 shots coming in from Knight Rider right there. But for Asterisk, the stability that they needed to win out on this round is very crucial. But one of the bigger things that I am worried about is the 3 ultimate points that they did give away to Knight Rider. That to the force,
Yeah.
if it comes online too often, Knight Rider is gonna turn into a menace on this circuit.
Definitely, that is gonna be. Oh no, the Scar missed out on his Gravnet over there. Happens. Sometimes it happens. But Scar, he recovers. He gets the pick onto Keywords. Yash was waiting for Knight Rider to come in. The positions are revealed. Ryzen, he has to be careful about what Knight Rider's movement is gonna be. Lee Boy is also there. I mean, There can be a moment in this position where two of them among the three might go ahead and try to find some value at least. So Scar gets a second one. Oh my god, I mean, he has been continuously denying the entry. Through that, dark cover which has been presented. Finally, the paranoia and the dark cover comes in, but then that's not going to be easy. The Omen has TP'd though, above the boxes. But then they are one-man shot, and again Scar connects. That was the third one in the round. Scar has done his part. Now, the boy has
what's
to
behind
deliver.
you?
He has recovered, yeah. Caramel. Lone Warrior at this point of time, but Mighty was ready, and a brilliant recovery from GANGAN Galaxy. They come back with a good reply. Specifically credits given to Scar, I mean, aggressive on that Sheriff. He was given a lot of freebies, which was not supposed to be. I mean, at least a trade what was expected from Asterisk, but it didn't come in.
This was such a decent surprise coming out from this side, man. You can tell that the members of GANGAN Galaxy look to be a team that can really turn everything on its head. And Garang's positioning completely going unknown. This is what I was worried about. The 2-4s. It's going to be coming online soon, but now in the hands of Knight Rider as the operator, but missed out opportunity. Somehow Little Boy survives with his own life. Knight Rider is one of those players that takes a little bit of time to, like, you know, warm up that operator shot, but as soon as he starts hitting him, it's free flowing. That's exactly what you want to see. Another shot missed out. Knight Rider needs to be careful of where he's going to go next with this one. I like the fact that he's going in for rotations, though. He's always moving this operator around, keeping them guessing of where he could go next.
Yeah.
This time around, the call is good. He does have the teleport up and ready to instantly run away if anything does happen, but he didn't place it just yet. Tripwire to hold off that first initial line. Knight Rider's positioning a little bit scary. He's gonna get ran on by someone at the bare minimum, but Knight Rider, he's not giving this one up anytime soon. Positions are perfect. He gets the second shot as well, straight through the smoke. He keeps the ball rolling in their court. Now the players from the side of the defense flood on through inside of the smoke. They run across. They want the kills. They're going to be able to get it. Bronx over from the sidelines. It's going to be Risen who gets another one, but Ganola instantly takes him down to finally bring it all back. Up, now retrieved, and GANGAN Galaxy, they take the second round for themselves.
Yeah. I mean, not the smoothest Knight Rider we know, but then he recovered well, aggressive. Points given. But the way Asterisk wanted to plan out this round, they wanted to play it slow. I mean, it worked against Rat Syndicate, but GANGAN Galaxy is a different team. I'm sure they would have seen how they were planning things against Rat Syndicate. Knight Rider, he might have a fight. His position is revealed, of course. The Prowler helped Liboy. And Knight Rider, he has moved ahead. Like we all know that he wants. And he is one of them who doesn't shy away from a fight. The mid stairs and the mid area looks busy right now. The paranoia comes in. There is a chance where Knight Rider might find Lil Boy. The siege comes in. Mighty and Scar finds two. Which means Asterisk again down with the numbers game going on. Ryzen gets one, but then Mighty trades him instantly.
It's gonna be a pause. That's a pause right there.
Yeah, I saw that. Some kind of a issue for sure. But then, the way things are turning out for Asterisk right now, they're constantly losing out the numbers, right? They're taking things slow, but they're unable to find those openings, right? Aggressive, which is required in a map like Korod, with such kind of a setup which, you know, Run Galaxy is going in with. They have two Sentinels, due to which they can layer those setups, which is a good move. That's how you can play those default movements in Korod.
You see where they go with this one. Already, timings are perfect. As we go a little bit closer for these fights, in a little bit of a rough spot here. Grong's gonna be good for the first, and one by one they do fall. Pretty sure Antidote's gonna immediately take a pause here. He doesn't really want his team to go down any more rounds. And if I'm right, this where the call should come in, but Asterisk, they're not.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. I kind of called it, and I knew this was gonna happen because this is a general like timing for Antidote to take a pause like this. He understands that losing 3 rounds consecutively, immediately
True.
you need to take this pause to just bring your team back in line for that buy round.
Correct.
Asterisk now, they need to figure out what's really going on wrong. And one of the first things that they need to understand is where this operator is. They're not playing upon information. They're not really trying to fish out the exact position of the operator first because they're being caught off guard by Knight Rider going in for these rotations. That's why I told you that's the brilliance of Knight Rider, right? When he
Yeah.
is on a roll where he can op on, the guy just knows how to play the map well. The guy knows how to get advantages for the team. And at that point, he turns the win condition from being Mighty and Ganola onto himself. Because on that chamber, if he has a good game, there is
Mhm.
nothing in this world that can stop him.
Because of the two Sentinel they have, Gun Galaxy, they have those, luxury to leave the site B. You saw the last round, right? Deadlock was playing mid, and all of them, like the Chamber, the Omen, Mighty, and the Fade, which is of course his, rotating from one point to the other. But then from A Link, they could, expect that the rush is coming in from Asterisk, and they could, easily take them down. Knight Rider now. He had a moment. Yash over there. Not safe, but okay. Scar finds one more. And Knight Rider comes in and gets
Not like this.
another one on Yash. Just getting more difficult for Asterisk. But this time, one thing is good on their behalf that they have taken those trades. Ginola takes down Ryzen. Their controller is out of the game. Now Caramel and the Vice. What can they do? He has the Steel Garden activated. I mean, he has it available. He can use it. But the problem is the spike is towards site A. It's dropped. We need to go and recover it. The Vice from A-Link moving in. Ginola. He has the Haunt. He has the Seize. He has the Nightmare available, of course. Okay, he will use. And there is a counter coming in. The Nightfall being used. The HP will be lost. Ginola.
Oh
I
no,
mean,
this
Caramel
is
will
bad.
use this opportunity. But Keyboard Chain will close in and
saves
take down
it.
Ginola. Knight Rider's position is expected. The Nightmare. The Nightfall actually being committed from Ash's side. But go wrong. And now Knight Rider is rotated. His position will be revealed, and Knight Rider
How?
swings and takes
Why?
the keys
Kibone?
so smoothly, so smooth. He swapped the operator. He took the Phantom, and he took down Kibone so easily. Wow! So the pause really paid off.
Paid off to get the rounds closer, but it didn't stop Knight Rider from having the best performance of his life. What is this Knight Rider, man? This feels as though he is back in his prime. Every shot that he's taking, every moment that he is playing on this server, you can tell that Knight Rider, he is the server admin, and he's making sure that he's making all of them pay for what they are doing. It's good God, ladies and gentlemen, this game of Valorant has now built up and shaped up to be one for the Bucks. They played quite well though, I'll have to say, but Kimon just opting for a swing like that, even though he heard the sound of Knight Rider going in for the drop, you could tell that Kimon should have just instantly shot, but Kimon didn't even shoot a single bullet there. I don't know if it was a technical difficulty coming out from him or if it was another issue, because Kimon generally doesn't miss shots like this. Knight Rider finding that kill, being able to get that resurgence, to just have that ability in yourself to just instantly flick across and get that kill onto Kimon. It's a difficult feat indeed.
Yeah.
It's just sad to see a team of Asterisk Excalibur struggle so much on this particular map, and this has been like a recurring theme for a lot of their games too, right? Where the squad just doesn't really ever seem to be on that same plane of existence, where it takes them so long to get themselves warmed up, and arguably the map of Corrode is one of their best, and GANGAN Galaxy have showed that they struggle on this map quite often.
I mean, I was going to say the same thing. Where of course they would have seen the match against Silcord. Gangan Galaxy literally struggled, but Mighty got saved over there. Didn't get stuck in that razor vine. Prowler finds Knight Rider. Looks like a B hit. Everybody just stacking up towards B. Yash is waiting for that movement to come in. They're showing presence towards B. And Yash here, okay. Interesting that he is walking towards mid-top from mid-window. And he might be on a flank, but Mighty finds Ryzen. Will come in from B lane, but then Yash will get caught. Mighty and Knight Rider just shuts them down. So, of course, the Asterisk plan didn't work out again. They have the Viper Spit available right now. I've seen them going in continuously with this double controller setup in almost all the maps. Sometimes you feel that if you have this cushioning, you can create those spaces, right? And specifically on Corrode, you can again layer your setups while you're on your defender's half. But then again, for the time being, you are on an attacker's side where you need at least 5 rounds or 4 to be fair. But Knight Rider, once again, he has walked in, and this time he has support. Mighty will be there, but Lee Boy, he was prepared but won't be prepared for Knight Rider. Takes the trade and comes back.
He's the hero of this story. Noah, though, on the opposite side. I kind of miss these Dobita cabinets that he had in the background. Sorry, the Doraemon cabinets. But it's a blast of the past, pretty much, of the good old days when Ganola was on a different roster. But Garong now, he's also the one to step onto the table. The last player has already been spotted. It's going to be none other than Caramel, the man, the myth, the legend, to possibly go in for a clutch here. Does have the spike in his arsenal, but Knight Rider slips in through the cracks and immediately uses an operator to shut him down. GANGAN Galaxy, this is a completely different team than what we saw up against Chillport on this map, because Asterisk haven't really found a position where they can test them and really catch them off guard. Especially with Knight Rider having such a phenomenal performance, you can tell that the snowballing momentum for their side is just absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, even yesterday we saw a kind of a situation where Asterisk dropped out their own map and won their opponents. I mean, are they planning the similar kind of thing? We'll know about that, but now the overdrive has been activated. Ginola in a spot of bother, but it's Mighty. He shuts Yash down. Ginola survives, he turns and he gets the third one as well. Leeboy and Keybone. Comes to the line of fire. Caramel turns and takes the Prowler down, but there is Car who's coming in. Okay, grab net. Not stuck. Caramel tries his level best, but Korang comes in with a run and gun kind of a mood. Literally took him down with the pre-fire. Another round. Just seems like Asterisk has not got it in them at this point of time. Eight rounds in their favor. The best possible situation is to win all the rounds from here, Asterisk. Otherwise, GANGAN Galaxy can close this pretty easily.
Oh, Scar. He actually spotted out the head of one of the players. Risen in a little bit of a bad position. The sprays just keep on connecting. Poor old Risen. What is happening to the side of Asterisk? They are making mistake after mistake. And after that one round that they did win, not a single round is coming through for them. Garong's position has been revealed. They're full control of mid. And now Little Boy knee deep in enemy territory all the way into the back lines. GANGAN Galaxy have been cut off from one another. But honestly speaking, I don't know who's been cut off. The members of Asterisk? Or is it actually the players of GANGAN Galaxy? Because Mighty spots out Kibone. He's going to be able to find the first Knight Rider and immediately shuts down Little Boy as well. That's now all up to Caramel. The team it's just not on the right page with one another. They're making mistakes, and GANGAN Galaxy just able to capitalize. Yeah, they took over mid control, but what's gonna happen after you take mid control? Gangan Galaxy immediately, they have such good answers. They started to walk up together from the side of A Link, going into mid, and then took it slow because Knight Rider was holding the top side of mid. Every other player could be focusing at the bottom end. This is such a difficult scenario for you to be in because Asterisk just can't really do much up against them. They need to go in for an execute. Instead, they're constantly playing slow.
Yep. And I think Yash has not been so proactive how he was yesterday, to be honest. And Scar has been allowed to just, build on those moments. Okay, Knight Rider. Ooh, he almost got the fade over there. Swing through, but okay. Yash, this time he finds the value. The initiator is out of the ploy, but Knight Rider is just waiting. He'll wait. He'll wait. He knows there's more than one player over there. Takes a fallback towards elbow. We know that they're coming in towards the side. Or the force activated, of course. Yash being taken out. The space maker is out of the game. Viper Spirit activated. Will he try to go inside it? No, little boy. It's better of Mighty. Knight Rider coming way around. This can be a time period. 24. Goodness me.
Oh, no way. How is Knight Rider fighting two?
Knight Rider.
Who is this guy? It's like prime Knight Rider. It's like I'm going back to 2022 here, Oro. I can't make sense of this. Who is this guy?
I'm sure we missed this Knight Rider, right, in the past few days, because we know what kind of a potential and a high caliber player he is. Ryzen, he used from the shadows and came in towards B and planted the spike. Scar just waiting. Will he catch one? He might catch one. No, he missed.
He doesn't know how the bounce works. He doesn't know how the bounce works.
Oh, but he's sticking. He's sticking.
They
aren't going inside the smoke. Goodness me, Ryzen gets both of them. But why? Why will you not go in and check at least? From the shadows was used for a reason. Oh, GANGAN Galaxy once again showcases how do you handle pressure. Knight Rider. I mean, Ryzen came in and he was taking those shots left side, but the spike was planted right in front of him. He should have at least tried spamming it. He thought that nobody would be sticking, right? Aggressive, and that is a big mistake. Oh, Knight Rider. Finally, we see some corrode elements coming in. Did I hear Odin? Oh no, this can be very bad. Yeah, it is bad. It's a complete shutdown once again. Scar with 2. I mean, you were talking about Knight Rider, but I'm so impressed with how Scar has been playing it, right? Aggressive.
Bolt's just now on the last Knight Rider. Yeah, it's just his performance, right? When he has a good day, there's absolutely nothing that you can do up against him. This is such a sad situation because Knight Rider, he's been winning out on so many of these impossible rounds. Lone's gonna be good for 1 kill, but it's just not gonna be enough because the team is just right behind him. GANGAN Galaxy, against all odds, against the statistics, against mathematics, ladies and gentlemen. They are proving everyone wrong. That they are not gonna have a bad day. They are just gonna keep on going. Every single one of these players on GANGAN Galaxy have proven time in and time out that they can perform, and their performances are just getting better and better after each and every match.
Galaxy, 1 round short of turning this map into a match point. Asterisk, I mean, even if they win on this pistol round, they have a 10-round buffer. GANGAN Galaxy, Asterisk, looks like, what were they thinking when they were doing the veto, right? You said that they're they are the better team on Corod, but this is the second time, like after Bind yesterday when we saw them against Rat Syndicate, like they have misjudged, or I mean, to be fair, weren't able to assess the situation. This has happened for the second time, but eh, hey, I mean, they still managed to win the series, right, against Rat Syndicate, so they did something better than them. So I still believe in these boys that they have that potential, but if these kind of situations keep on happening, certainly in big matches like this is a big match, of course, it's a must-win game if you need to move ahead. So you can't misjudge or misassess these kind of situations. You have to be proactive. You have to be at least showcase fight back against a team like Gungan Galaxy if you're moving towards sunset. But yeah, sad to see the scoreline like 11-1.
What's not going to be sad to see is the links down below in the description, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a little bit depressed about the scoreline, you can perk yourself up by checking out VJ Sales, ladies and gentlemen, because in the celebration of the Intel Gamer Days, you can grab yourself an Intel Core powered gaming laptop with massive savings at VJ Sales from the 25th of August up till the 24th. Here's what you get on the table. Get savings of up to 40,000 on Intel Core powered gaming laptops. Use code GAMER8 to get a flat 8% off. Or if you're feeling a little bit spicy, use code GAME10 to get an even bigger 10% off on Intel Core powered gaming laptops. And of course, on also on the purchase of qualifying Intel products, you can get a bundle which is inclusive of up to other AAA gaming titles as well, approximately 4,000, and of course other creative software. So make sure to check out all the links down below the description. Don't forget, these are all limited time offers, so make sure to check it all out if you don't want to miss out on any of that jazz. But then again, ladies and gentlemen, the things that we are missing from inside of the game is pretty apparent, right? A resurgence from the members of Asterisk. Yeah, I do get it. They had a double controller setup for their team, but it doesn't mean the double controller setup is bad on the map of Kuro. Double controller actually makes it easier for you to attack because you have the defensive sided Viper wall towards the mid, which just works out for you. But GANGAN Galaxy just proves that even against Viper utility, if you just start hitting your shots a little bit better, and if you pressure them in such a way that your momentum will, of course, be on the limelight for it all, that's what you need for a couple of these rounds. And understandably, like, I do get it, right, that the Viper is a little bit of I would say a thorn in the place of GANGAN Galaxy, but if they just ignore it, if they start to just push through that Viper wall and find value, then you as Asterisk are doing something wrong, because that Viper is supposed to make them feel scared and it's supposed to give you the advantage. But it turns out that that's your biggest disadvantage now on that attack side for so many of these rounds.
I mean, I heard you yesterday. No, a day before yesterday, actually. It was Tuesday, right? Where we saw the match against Gungan Galaxy, where Chilcott was doing a similar kind of thing, and the wall was used so beautifully to make those, play arounds, to reposition and to move ahead and create space, or to also push through the wall. But then it didn't happen today. Anyways, the game map has resumed, of course. No damage done yet. GANGAN Galaxy, they are moving through mid once again and towards A-Link. And this time, nobody's watching. Actually, wait, Caramely is there, but then they have been chucked out at this point of time through this dark cover. They're just waiting. They are just playing around them. Okay. Now they'll know. The vice wall, he jumped through over it. The position is revealed. Scar is holding. Now, GANGAN Galaxy have also started to slow things up. The arc row is being placed. Yash is holding the smoke. Nobody wants to make a move. The point is, who's gonna break that barrier? Gorang, and Scar does it. Yeah. They thought that they can just hold this position for eternity. Usually the first mover's advantage is what GANGAN Galaxy got over there. Ryzen! Will he find Mighty over here? Gonna be difficult. Okay, he runs back. I don't want to get shot down by a right click. is what he wants to say. Bone, he will find Garang. Okay, now, okay.
Oh no,
This is...
okay, never mind.
Kibon was good. I mean, once I saw Knight Rider running in with that, you know, I thought that Knight Rider missed a spot. And
I mean, it's fine. It's the headhunter bullets, right?
Yeah, true. It's not the stable. I mean, not the stablest, is what I want to try to say. But then,
that's probably the most quietest performance I've ever seen or out of Yash as well. 2 to 13. Yeah. He's a star duelist. Like, he's one of those up and coming talents that we always hype on about. But to see him down on the scoreboards like this, it's just so jarring to watch.
And even see, you know, since they have not got the momentum as well, they haven't tried creating situations also. Looks like, you know, just sitting down. Look at Kibon. Okay, Kibon finds one, but he has lost HP. This is kind of a bonus round. Should be the final, can be the final round though. GANGAN Galaxy has lost members. Kibon, he gets the third one. Can Kibon find an ace? Can we see something at least from Asterisk? Scar. He has the spike and he is moving in towards a crane. And through defender spawn, he might go and plant towards B, which is an option though. But then Lil Boy finds Knight Rider, but he is the lone survivor now. He knows that nobody's watching B, at least expecting that it should be one, not more than that. The positions have been revealed. Now he's sure that nobody is there. But then it's going to be a difficult task to convert this round. Still doable. Won't say it's impossible. Has one sensor. Now what Asterisk is gonna do? They are gonna come in together or gonna get we are gonna see some individual fights being taken. The horn comes in right in front of his face.
No.
Now it's gonna be difficult with the player having a shotgun. Yeah, of course. Caramel. You wanna take any kind of risk. He took him down and we'll finally see something from Asterisk, and the second round will come up in their favor.
See where they're gonna go with this one. Kibon's just in the corner waiting for this fight, and there's just so many situations where Asterisk, yeah, they did get this round. I'm not gonna be a hater for them, but they need to replicate this performance. Where was this Asterisk for the last couple of rounds? Where was this Asterisk when it was pretty much a necessity for them to win there? That last force by round is going to give them a little bit of a chance to really come on back in towards this game, because don't forget, this was an anti-eco round from the members of GANGAN Galaxy, and the fact that they did lose it to that force buy is going to cause a little bit of problems for them on the overall economy factor. Map control now established. Knee-deep in enemy territory will be the members of Asterisk. Just be as aggressive as they possibly can towards that mid side, because they understand that the pressure is mounting for their end. B side, right for the picking. Karamel's going to be the first one to take that try and tested hit. They're playing this one slow from the side of GANGAN Galaxy. It's a little bit of more of a surprise, because generally their pistol rounds end a lot more quicker. Sorry, their eco rounds and of course those pistol rounds end a lot more quicker than most would. But I like the slower approach, because they want to try and bleed out as much economy as they possibly can from the members of Asterisk before they want to go in for anything big.
Kibon, his position is revealed, of course. And, oh, Scar finds Ryzen over there. Ah, one controller out. Kibujin being tagged. Yash. Oh, okay. Caramel finds Gorang. These guys are moving in. Oh, Knight Rider, he might find that timing. Genola gets Yash. Knight Rider will be expected and he will be taken out. the position. Keep on. There's everyone coming in. Of course, he will take the spike down. Ginola was taken out. Scar. But then the thing is, before it was a full eco coming in from GANGAN Galaxy's side, but still they managed to deal a good amount of damage, right? They were just starting to get that, economy going in. Asterisk, losing out 3 players is what GANGAN Galaxy wanted, and now see Knight Rider again, the attacking operator comes in on 17 frags. A chamber player doing good is something which we wanted, and also we wanted to see Knight Rider come, popping in, because we missed him. We kind of missed his performances.
That's the reason why Chamber is so good on this map as well, because of the amount of different trademark positions that you can place out as well. Plus, with that teleport, it's just so easy to try and force a lot of these engagements that you generally can't with any of the other characters because of how dangerous it is. That free TP over on the A side corner just allows you to lurk up so deep into the position of a connector. These kind of spots are just power plays for you to utilize, but a little bit risky from Mighty there. Goes into the waiting arms of Kiramo. These are the kills that they needed. A possible comeback being mounted by the members of ASTERISK. It's down in a 3v5 situation. This is honestly a really good time for you to just save your weapons. Just wait out the 40 seconds. Don't do anything risky, because at least if you have those 3 guns in your hands, you can go in for another possible full buy round in the following.
Yeah, true. The point in just shattering your economy. Yeah, you can build on those AWP points. The Nightfall and the Steel Cage, they are there for use. Okay, he'll get one, but he lost his weaponry, which wasn't required, but he was anyway stuck there. Now these guys want to hunt them down, which is a fair choice, because they do not want them to save the weaponry. Ginola gets one. He will be traded. Knight Rider, can he save the operator? I mean, he will be eventually. Yeah, he will. He did save the operator. So at least he has the operator. The rest of them on an eco. Okay, Mighty with that shotgun. He would want to find some value. Mighty has also not been, popping as we know what he can do. So Knight Rider comes in with a timeout. Okay, he thinks that this is required, because they have also kind of lost 2 consecutive rounds right now. 2 no, I mean they have lost 3 consecutive rounds. The scoreline was 12-1 before Asterisk started winning those. Just like how Asterisk took that timeout when 3 consecutive rounds were lost in their favor as well. Anyways, I mean, looks like still a lot of job to be done, but then Asterisk, if they can play each round on merits, they still have a chance. The game isn't over yet.
Knight Rider is going to take this pause, yes, but I'm just going to need to see whether or not Asterisk is going to be a little bit phased by this, because don't forget, even if your opponents are the ones to pause, your coach can still talk to you. So Asterisk Antidote is going to be able to give them a couple of choice words on what to do next year. Not really yet time to believe that it's all over, but for this particular team, still an opportunity to be presented. Knight Rider goes for the fight. He's looking for this duel. As for now, they need to be ready to finish things off as quickly as they possibly can. Positions are perfect, to say the very least, but Knight Rider a little bit risky. Needs to immediately take a run for it. Can't really risk these kind of fights now, can they? We'll look towards the mid side. Look at the aggression being showcased by the members of Asterisk here. Smart for the overall timing. Mighty, he's looking for one more duel. The positions are perfect, but then again, for GANGAN Galaxy, they just need one kill. That one small opener. Anyone that's stepping out of line from the side of Asterisk, that can cause them problems, but never mind. It's going to be Yash finally coming online for this. Good shot on the face of Scar. Now they're just going to need to wait. That's the deadlock now taken off of the table. And one of the key win conditions for the side of GANGAN Galaxy for this particular round has already been shut down.
Yep. They're coming in. This is going to be a push. The fast executions are going to come in. The relay bolt being connected over there. Waiting for the paranoia. Gorang gets the clearance. And then they're playing deep through sight. And this is going to be the most interesting part with not the best of the weaponries. Mighty needs to be the one who needs to find those openings. They don't have time. They need to go in. Everybody has rotated towards the side. Yes, finds one. There go. Lil Boy gets another one. Ginola did trade Lil Boy, but they don't have the time. They need Kandakan. They have to win those fights, but then it's a good shutdown coming in from Asterisk. The patience, which was, I mean, a demon kind of a situation for them on their attackers' half, is turning out to be a gun. Pro, actually. I mean, not gun. Pro in their defenders' half, and they have been setting up so well, along with Viper and Vice on the B side. I mean, they have been completely denying that entry, where Caramel has been a very, very good aimer. Of course, we know how he is with his aim game. Now this time, are they going to do a fast B execute? Looks like that. They don't want to wait anymore. They look pretty frustrated, but Yash finds the better. Nola, Lil Boy gets the second one. Lil Boy gets the third one as well. Goodness me, now something is happening. Asterisk, they can smell the comeback.
It's like a fire has been lit under them. Good God. Finally, this double controller setup is finding a lot of value on this defensive side. And maybe, just maybe, this is the turning point that they needed. GANGAN Galaxy shaking in their boots, down over to another eco. This is very risky for them to take. These fights that they are trying to get here, not really the best ones now, is it? It's GANGAN Galaxy showcasing that they can bleed, showcasing that they are also making a lot of big mistakes here. Mid side again being rushed onto, but it's going to be Kimon who's going to be the first one to take that engagement. Mighty's position already known, and Yash instant trying to go in for the runaround, and that turn. Mighty still alive and kicking, looking for more, but Kimon with the Allfather is just so difficult to try and feed. He's spraying them down with the Odin, and it's making sure that the wrath of the gods are felt on the map of Corrode. Asterisk finally mounting the comeback that was expected from them, the plays that we would know them to have. And it seems as Antidote, he just gave them one call: go and kill, throw caution to the wind, because that is exactly how the members of Asterisk are playing.
Oh, Kibon is not gonna stop. Okay, Night Rider will get one. No, he was trying to go and recover the Phantom, but he was not allowed by Caramel. So finally, one after the other, Asterisk is just building up. Bit by bit. They have no other choice, but the problem is they can't make any kind of mistake. If they make one, GANGAN Galaxy is just waiting for it. The problem is, are Asterisk gonna make a mistake, or they are gonna be flawless in this situation or in this scenario? This is going to be the most important round. They have
rounds.
5 ultimates. They have 5 ultimates. Which was once looking impossible is now looking doable. Lil Boy, who's holding a different position. Oh, very risky, but very valuable too. The information is now known to him. The positions are actually little clear at this point of time, but how they want to plan out this situation. 5 ultimates, all of them are there. Though the force is already activated, and on the contrary, Asterisk is also has 4 ultimates to counter them. They can possibly play a retake. They have the Viper Spit, of course. Caramel is just wanting to know is what the situation gonna happen, and then he wants to use it, which is good. Then Ryzen is waiting with the operator. It's not gonna be easy. He finds the value. That was not expected. Uses the paranoia, slows things up, falls back, and now Mighty. What will he do? Okay, the overdrive being activated again. He's waiting with that operator. Doesn't find any value. One more. 3. I mean, he tried, but then Lil Boy, he has been so good. He has not allowed anyone do any kind of damage. Then Annihilation being used. Now Scar finds a little boy over there. Spike has been planted. They just need to hold. How will they do it? The steel cage being activated. Lot of things. Nightfall now being committed. Siege comes in. Caramel goes down. And as I said, the last man being taken out by Mighty over there. They were waiting for one small mistake, and the mistake was there that they were not holding that positions steadily. And Mighty's positioning was so good that he came in swinging and he took down the last two men. And of course, the util usage from that fade, the siege, the siege and the nightfall being used at the same time, where Caramel didn't have anything to do. And also, I think Scar used his grab net, so he was stuck. He had no other choice. He couldn't move. And well done, GANGAN Galaxy. They were sliding down for a moment, but then they pulled it back at the correct time.
It's just a heartbreak and a half when you think about it too, right? That a position like this, a situation where you as a team could have really turned things around, but it just got snatched away from you because you just gave away too much space. The fact that Kibone just died out to the player on the side of A connector just caused all of this to happen. You needed A connector control to really make that push happen from the side of defender spawn, because you can't really break through without trying to isolate out a little bit of the spacing. But you have to give it to Scar that moment of brilliance to understand that, hey, I'm gonna get caught by the steel cage, so I need to instantly get into a corner, just wait it out, and utilize my grab net for all of that value. The fact that he utilized the grab net up at the very end there, getting that second kill almost immediately, putting out the grab net, and then waiting for the nightfall to come through from his teammate as well. Kinola had that moment of brilliance in him to just set up Scar for victory. These points of the game just showcase how good GANGAN Galaxy are as a team and how well that they can play when they're all on the same page. Knight Rider had a phenomenal performance. I don't believe anyone deserves MVP more than him for this particular match.
Yeah, he was so good from the word go. I mean, he was prepared with Korod. I think they were expecting that something would come up like a map like this, where they were exposed last time when they played it against Chilcod, and Mighty did really well, but then Knight Rider was the difference, I would say, because he was playing that chamber and he couldn't deliver. And we were saying that this isn't the way we have seen Knight Rider, make those set plays, or in his position or in his shoes, being a player where he feels that he is responsible for his movements and his positions and his his contribution, to be specific. So yeah, we weren't satisfied. He wasn't satisfied, so he went back, did his homework, came back as a player, and he delivered. And he delivered on that map where he couldn't. So yeah, that shows character, and respect earned. 1 point, of course, in their favor, and GANGAN Galaxy is one map short now and qualifying against Chilcod and get that rematch which they have been wanting to.
Absolutely. This is just that one step that they took. They still need to take map number 2, ladies and gentlemen. This is not going to get any easier for either side of this, because yeah, you do have Knight Rider on that chamber. Yes, he is really potent and powerful when you put an AWP in his hands, but that's kind of the thing, right? Knight Rider, he can only play chamber on so few specific maps unless they completely change their composition to try and facilitate him, to try and see whether or not their aim is really gonna go the distance for that one. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm so pleasantly surprised for so many of these engagements. The way that they played, the way that the game has been going, they have proven to me that they are a squad to be reckoned with. And all the problems that they had throughout this entire tournament, you can tell that the team has evolved to be greater. Just like you guys back at home can evolve and get your gaming setups to be greater by checking out BJ sales down in the description below. Starting from, of course, the 25th of August, it's already here, ladies and gentlemen. Up till the 24th of September, so you can get massive savings on Intel Core Power Gaming laptops. Make sure to check out all the links down in the description, also the pinned comment on the side, because if you use Gamer 8 or even Gamer 10, you can get a flat 8% and 10% off on select Intel Core Powered Gaming laptops. Again, respectively. Of course, make sure to check out the link, all of the links down below, and of course the pinned comment on the side, because there's extra goodies inclusive to all the different discounts that you are getting. So a bunch of different deals, bunch of different offers. Make sure to check out all of it down below if you want to get yourself onto the server as well to play the game of Valorant at such a high level. Because here at the Esports Lab, remember, the action just never stops. There's a lot more other tournaments that will be happening soon, and if you don't want to miss out on any of that, again, make sure to check out the links in the description and also follow our socials on the side as well, because this particular matchup still has a long way to go. We still could be going on to map number 3, because I need you guys to understand something, that GANGAN Galaxy, yeah, they played good on map number 1, but we've seen this happen in the past too, where ASTERISK, they struggled on that first map, but as soon as map number 2 and map number 3 rolled around, the team just evolved in such a way that no one could stop them, especially when Antidote gives them a call. They know how to follow it. Jumping on down over into the scoreboard. This is where the turning point really happened. When, if you just look at the entire scorecard, ASTERISK pulled off a miracle at the end, especially with Yash finally showing up. He stayed at 3 kills for, I think, a solid 7 to 8 rounds before he finally got his next one. That does not happen to Yash often. But when you look at the members of GANGAN Galaxy, it's consistency over consistency across all of their players. Yes, Knight Rider had a phenomenal performance. Yes, Scar was an absolute beast on that Sentinel. But every single one of their players went positive, other than Gorong, because he was playing in a much more of a riskier spot. That just goes to show that as a team, GANGAN Galaxy played way better.
I mean, the way Keyborn stepped up, because of course we saw how important Yash is as a player for them, right? We saw yesterday, and he was one of the reasons where ASTERISK were doing, once ASTERISK were doing good, he was stepping up and he was delivering in those situations. So yeah, he was missed, and once we saw the value being created, we saw everybody slowly and steadily starting to chip in, but then it wasn't enough. If you are ending in the first half with 11-1 scoreline, it's too much left out for you, and we know that one or two round mistake can just cost you the game, and that's what happened. There was a flow which came in, but then the valuable player in the last map was Keyborn from ASTERISK, and he did really well. He came down with that Odin in the last few rounds though, but then 19 kills with ACS of 272.0, and I mean the average damage per round is 155. So almost in every round he got some value. So that is something which is a positive, which ASTERISK will take up towards Sunset, because Sunset is what we have seen GANGAN Galaxy do well. And would we see some Waylay action or not? We saw against Chilcot, where Paradox was the one, with Rat Syndicate, of course. He used that agent pretty well. But I think it's time for us to take a short little break. After the break, we will come back with the second map.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intel Gamer Days Valorant Community Cup. We are now back with all the action for possibly the last time for this lower bracket grand finals, with possibly GANGAN Galaxy taking the victory up against ASTERISK. Words that we did not expect to say, because the home favorites for a lot of these players, and of course a lot of people back at home, has to be the members of ASTERISK. I'm pretty sure that we had this conversation with Salty too, right? That Salty currently
Mhm.
is now at the Revenant Bootcamp, right? He was talking to Deathmaker, and Deathmaker, he himself said that ASTERISK should be the squad that you look out for because they have Antidote as their coach. But even when you have such a phenomenal player as a coach on your team, it's just not enough, right? You can tell that GANGAN Galaxy, they've gone above and beyond. They've gone plus ultra pretty much to get to this point of time, to
Yeah.
get to a point where they took a 12 to goddamn 2 scoreline up against the members of ASTERISK. Yeah, they did lose out on a couple of their rounds. Yes, it was a 13-7 victory going in the favor of GANGAN Galaxy, but to get a scoreline like that by itself just goes to show that this team has evolved to be the best of the best. The second map that we do have in front of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, will be none other than Sunset. Now, this is where the real fun will possibly begin for this particular team, because Sunset, yeah, it's a good pickup, but GANGAN Galaxy, they've showed that they struggle on this map quite a little bit, because Knight Rider, he's going to get pushed onto this breach once again. And if they don't know how to utilize this breach properly, that
Mhm.
win condition that's being put on Mighty's head is not going to be that easy to pull off.
True. I mean, it's not going to be easy at all. And the kind of things we will see from GANGAN Galaxy right now, they will feel much more confident. And also, they know they have played this map, and I think Asterisk, they have to be pretty proactive. And of course, the way they played Heaven yesterday, which wasn't their map pick, and they still won it and won it convincingly. They need to pull out something like that on Sunset. Otherwise, we won't even go on to that decider, which is on Heaven at the end of the day. When with this situation which has popped up against them right now, the pressure is, of course, on Asterisk. Where Yash, he again goes on to that Neon. We see Lee Boy with that Omen. We have a Sova. Okay, it's interesting. A Sova pick coming in with uh, a Cypher and a Breach. Okay, they are going with a double initiative composition. They need more information. They want to work on information. But if Yash isn't able to find those value, which he was not in the last map, then Kibon will be struggling. And also, Breach is a very supportive agent. If your duelist isn't able to find the value, and it becomes much more difficult to create space. I'm interested to see what Gun Galaxy is going to go with. Okay, they are also going to be going with a similar kind of composition. Okay, did you expect this aggressive?
I mean, to a certain degree, yes, but at the same time, no. But let's just see what they're trying to cook up, right? Maybe we do see a little bit more of a different change up. Generally, both of these squads, they have a couple of set plays in mind that they want to utilize, and maybe it can work in the way that they have expected. But let's just see where this goes, because again, when your backs are against the wall, when you're at this lower bracket run, anything
Yeah.
goes, right? You can change up your strategies, you can switch up to something a little bit more different to just get into a better notion. But
Mhm.
this is going to be a little bit dicey in the way that they're going to be handling this, that is for certain. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, as we are going to be waiting, make sure to check out all the links down below the description, because now it's going to be Reliance Digital who have a lot of exciting offers for you guys back at home. If you want to compete and climb in Valorant, and of course, if you want to play in tournaments like this, don't let your device hold you back. Intel Gamer Days are here, and now is the perfect time to go in for an upgrade, because Reliance Digital has brought some exciting offers on various Intel 4-power gaming laptops until the 14th of September. Make sure to check out all the links down below as the match is about to start, and the pistol round for these squads will carry so much weight, because getting that first round on the board is just a huge momentum lead that a lot of teams generally can snowball into even more rounds.
Looks like a slow start again from Asterisk. How they did it on the last map, but then this is, of course, a fresh start. They would want to forget what happened on the last map. And they're going in towards a main. Interested to see how they're going to play out the elbow positioning. The Cypher is placed, of course. Camera and along with Gorang. It's going to be interesting. Like they're expecting this. Do they have the paranoia? He's ready with the paranoia. The camera being tagged over there. Knight Rider finds value in Scar again. A good start from GANGAN Galaxy. It was a setup. They purposely left out that positioning. And of course, Gorang was playing with the Cypher for that, trap. And the paranoia was also there. So good set play, a good positioning, good hold, good read, of course. And GANGAN Galaxy starts off where they left.
These points of time for them are just a little bit more on those dicier ends. Asterisk already, they're showing cracks in their overall armor, and I'm a little bit worried on what they're going to be doing next. You can hear the players trembling a little bit here. Asterisk, they know they are screwed just a tiny little bit. Yeah, it was the pistol round, but these pistol rounds are so crucial to establish a little bit of a round lead for yourself. Barong already first for the kill, spots out the player on mid, gets catch over onto Karamo to try to go in for that lurk up. Problems. Already with the fast rush around, it's going to be Ganola for the first. Yash, it was back. He's none the wiser for it. Not really expecting the duel. He just is making mistake after mistake.
Oh, no.
And he is falling. The shock dart nearly kills him, but Ganola uses that shock dart as like a warding shot instead. 2-0, ladies and gentlemen. GANGAN Galaxy. They take another round for themselves. Pretty clean and decisive for that overall approach. That's completely fine, but for Asterisk, they do have the buys in their arsenal now for this particular round. This is where things need to change for the better.
I mean, Ginola is in his elements when he's on that Sova, right? Whenever he has that agent, he feels so natural. But then, of course, that shock dart wasn't natural, of course. But then still, that happens sometimes. But yeah.
I mean, that's a good lineup. I want to learn.
Yeah, true. Oh. The fault line. Mighty got stuck. But Gorang managed to get a trade, though. Caramel. This is for the consecutive time, I to be specific, aggressive. He has been taken out first. So once the Cypher is out, you're just inviting lurks. Expecting someone to run through B, but then the mid door is broken. The courtyard, it looks busy right now. There's a trap already waiting for Yash. Will they find out? The shock dart being used. Will he find one? Oh, yes, the Knight Rider finds only one. And GANGAN Galaxy are only left out with two. The number disadvantage is there for sure. Ganola and the Omen. The Omen is there for the backstab. But Lil Boy was expecting him. I mean, I can already see the first round for Asterisk. Still waiting for Ganola. It's gonna be difficult for him. He has the outlaw in his hand. With that spike being planted for main, and all of them holding main, it isn't going to be easy. A lot of utils there. They would have the fault line. He's looking for a save, I think. Yeah, he's gonna save it. Probably. Will he be able to save it though? Little boy is looking in a different direction. He went in towards main. Good round for Asterisk. First round comes up for them.
I need to see where they're gonna go. GANGAN Galaxy, they did lose out on this round, but that's completely fine because don't forget that this particular round they did lose because Knight Rider just didn't really find that opening kill right. If he did get that kill, this was down over to a 2v2 situation. It would have been played out so much more differently. Garang probably wouldn't have gone in for such a big flank, and instead he would have tried to rendezvous with Ganola instead to just try and take a fight together. The weapon disadvantage was pretty apparent in that particular round. Now though, for their team, they're looking for even more space to play for. Mid-side completely being taken over as members of Asterisk opting for the execute. They're gonna try to run on across. A little bit dangerous here from the market side. The shots should connect on Ganola. Wait a minute! That was a no-scope! Ganola! He didn't even scope in! Somehow he made it work! In for the corner side. Kuramel's gonna be able to shut down that kill. Knight Rider none the wiser for it. He didn't expect that to happen, but the positions are good and perfect. Risen, he's gonna be the one to rise up to the challenge instead. And now Asterisk, they're turning this one around. Byron possibly going in their favors at GANGAN Galaxy. Not really expecting it. Positions revealed. It's gonna be the last Mighty. They know the spot. They're going in for the kills, and it's gonna be Karamel who shuts it all down. And it's all up to Mighty to try and go in for the clutch. Finally, this is the Asterisk that we know. This is the Asterisk that we know and love too, ladies and gentlemen. And Mighty, it's on almost insurmountable odds that he needs to try and get over to try and get this round for himself. He's just not going to be able to do so. Karamel being that perfect lurker, being the thing that the team needs in situations like this to get this round victory for themselves. All well played out one for at that. With Asterisk, they take another on the board to equalize.
I mean, a good comeback. Asterisk. They're being proactive. They're looking to find those values, and players are winning those aim duels. You know, those aim duels are required to be converted, which wasn't also happening in the last map. That's where, you know, they felt that the momentum wasn't there in their favor. The camera being placed top mid, wanting to spot something over there, but it's gonna be an eco round. Asterisk has that Hunter Fury, but they have already pushed in. Okay, little boy knows it. Recon will come in. But then Ryzen finds two there towards A. The fire going in, but then
He missed.
Caramel manages to help his teammate Scar. The kind of value he was able to find in the other map. Okay, he knows. Mighty is the last man standing with that Bucky. It's gonna be Okay. Too quick to expect that he took down little boy over there, but that little boy was there. Very. Yeah, he missed big time. Scar. Those situations always doesn't turn in your favor, friend. I mean, the way he was handling Deadlock in the last map is now at least looking like in an opposite situation where he isn't freely allowed to get those value, is what is required at this point of time from him when he's holding the side B alone. But then this wasn't expected. Knight Rider, before even you could use his fault line, play was in. Ginola traded little boy. His controller is out. Space creating is going to be difficult. Ryzen here tries to find value with that Hunter's Fury being committed so early. Neural theft by okay. Oh no, Caramel might find the third one. Scar finally gets the trade. Caramel with two. Push City over there. But then this retake is going to be difficult with two initiators, one being the breach. Ryzen already in form. The shock dart comes to dismantle them, but Ginola only will be good for one. Now Kibon will have his Rolling Thunder activated as well.
They're turning all these rounds on its head, it seems. As members of GANGAN Galaxy really are pulling their weight for this one, but at the same time, it's just not going to be enough. You can tell where the problem is, right? That Knight Rider, he's just not that comfortable on the breach here. He's not really understanding what kind of timings that he needs to expect from a Neon. When you're on that breach, you can't really go in for these slow kind of plays on such an operator, because the Neon can just run across you and immediately bait out that utility and still be able to find a kill on top of you. If you're not careful, you need to expect the unexpected in situations like this. And GANGAN Galaxy being forced onto an eco here with a couple of their players opting for a stinger. They know that the going is tough now for them. While Asterisk, understanding that their weapons are better than their opposition, but going in for the much more slower ended play. Don't make a lot of noise. Don't go in for an overly fast execute. You don't want them to go in for a very fast rotation. Take your time for the engagement. Ryzen already up for the fight, but in from the smoke is going to be Mighty with a perfectly timed out shot. This is what they were required to try and get, but it's going to be Yash who comes alive for the double kill with Resin getting another. And that's GANGAN Galaxy overall. The entire ploy that they were trying to do, the entire defensive side that they tried to flood on into just didn't work out in their favor. They didn't have the utility to try and do something like this. And they do fall for it. Scar now. First to be the one to take up that mantle, and a good shot at that. Good God, Scar. When he has that Sheriff in his hands, this player is just so hard to get a hold of.
This is a very, very difficult angle to expect. Yeah, exactly. He'll get both of them. Caramel finds all of them. But then a good round for Asterisk. I mean, Ginola had the read. That's why the information was passed on and the dark cover came in. But then the read and the placement of the dark cover both came in at a time where already the players were towards that A-shot area, which is technically almost towards inside the site, and Elbow was already captured because they were playing with Stinger. So they had a kind of a buy. Will be interesting to see how they play out this buy round now, because they have lost 3 consecutive rounds and no timeouts being taken out. Camera will be destroyed. Paranoia being there, will he find some value? The fault line will mean that he will be stuck. Can't find one, but the player who was there to support him, Gorang, is out. The A side is up for grabs. This has been happening for the 4th round now, that they have not been able to take the trades and they have missed out on opportunities. Caramel has walked in, and I don't understand the fact that why they have been allowing that bottom mid area, actually the top mid area, to be free. Once Scar is out of that picture, you know, there's a free entry, and Caramel has been exploiting it, right? Round and round again.
Absolutely. Oh. Ramos also hitting as many shots as he possibly can. The aim on this man is something that didn't really exist as that first initial one now did it. But in this one, it's a completely different story. Every shot that he takes, it just always reigns supreme. Poor old Knight Rider now stuck in a pretty precarious situation. Positions all revealed. They know exactly where he is, hunting down this one breach. Does have the 2 flashes, but that's kind of the problem, right? Why do you have 2 flashes of breach this late into the round? You should have already used one to facilitate Mighty for a push, but instead he's just stuck. There's not really much that he can do. Just get 1 kill, but immediately gets shut down. 2-6 is Asterisk. They're answering back to the members of GANGAN Galaxy in the exact same fashion that they lost to on that map of Corrode. Maybe it wasn't their map. Maybe it was just a map that they needed a little bit more time to get into. But you can tell that here, Asterisk is a completely different beast.
Correct. It definitely is a different kind of a beast. And I mean, with Yash finding his groove, it has now become more difficult for these players. Okay, the fast lane being used pretty early on in the round, but the recon dart coming in. I mean, they did change the plan. I thought that this will be a fast execute coming in towards A. They have mixed things up. This time they have not been too slow every round. The recon dart will be broken. Knight Rider, okay, taking an aggressive peek, but then why would you do that? And how much value can you create or expect from those situations? Yeah, now both the initiators out of the picture. Mighty alone. Paranoia comes in, he dodges it. But then, of course, what is happening? What is going on? Looks like, you know, they're playing a solo match and nobody's communicating. Because Knight Riders play, Mighty's play, and also now Ginola. Nothing left out for Gorang and Scar to do, who were actually the B players. Yeah. This is done.
I'm just being run over now. Members of GANGAN Galaxy are just being caught on an island pretty much. All their players have no idea on what to do next. And honestly speaking, I'm not that surprised that this is happening either. Poor Almighty just doesn't have the level of support that Yash has in a lot of these rounds. Gibon's a phenomenal breach player, And of course, you have Ryzen, who's just been consistent after consistent from game number 1 going into game number 2 as well. Asterisk, they're playing to their strengths. Now Mighty, position reveal, shock dart could be the thing that reigns in hand. Mighty just doesn't have anything for himself. No one's there with him. Where is your reach player? He's supposed to give you a stun from a different angle, and then your Omen's supposed to give you a flash, but instead Mighty was just sitting on B main with absolutely nothing. What's going on? Asterisk.
Exactly.
They're just exploiting every single clinks in their armor. Well, there's no utility from your supports. What is Mighty supposed to do?
No, his stock is gone. Oh my god. Knight Rider will find value though, but then at what cost? And what is he looking at? He knows there are 3 players in the main. Oh my goodness me. Caramel again. He walks across. His position is revealed, but Granola misses. This is what happens when the momentum is not in your favor. Your team goes clueless. Unexpected. Caramel gets Scar as well. Asterisk is doing the same thing what they did yesterday. And they ended up winning the game. If GANGAN Galaxy hasn't watched the game yesterday, they should have done a homework. Because the kind of situation GANGAN Galaxy has got stuck into, it's a loop. For the past 2 rounds, the players have done blunders where they have not been supporting each other. It feels like a solo queue going on in a rank match, where everything is clueless, where everybody is just taking things onto themselves and wanting to do solo stuff. But this is not gonna work. GANGAN Galaxy needs to change things up pretty quickly. Otherwise, Asterisk with this scoreline will most probably will take this to a decider.
This just doesn't make any sense. A lot of these fights are really coming down to the wire. GANGAN Galaxy.
He's stuck. Oh no, he's stuck.
These mistakes will come on top of it. Knight Rider trying to be the difference maker for their team. Had a good positions, but he's just not going to be able to capitalize on the second. Little bit of a tough spot. Mighty in the spot here already. Knows the exact position of one, but immediately gets traded in. There's no real utility for him to find. Last one's already spotted. Scar is gonna get shut down. Kimon just showcasing his dominance on the server. Gorong tries to go in for a kill, but his buddy in the back just could not survive. As Asterisk, they take the 9 on the board. These rounds are just rolling on by like as if you're at your deathbed and your entire life is flashing before your eyes, one after the other. And GANGAN Galaxy, they're the ones that are being put down here. These rounds are just a flash in the pan pretty much for them because they've yet to put up a pretty good fight up against these players who are on the attack, and they're so well coordinated with one another.
This looks pretty painful, just like it was painful for the other team. Now, oh my god, Caramel recovers his gun and he takes down Granola. Wow, what has happened to that man who was connecting his shots in the first 2 rounds at least? Scar, he has the camera still placed over there, finally broken down. The information is there. They have those ultimates, right? From the shadows finally being committed. Now, the paranoia comes in pretty late. Yash and Caramel, they strike hard. Gorang is the lone man towards CT. Yash gets the better of Gorang and keep on. It's enough for Scar. GANGAN Galaxy has no reply. It's 10-2. No, I mean, GANGAN Galaxy just did 1 round better than Asterisk on Corot. They were 11-1, they are 10-2. Same kind of situation. Feels like both the teams on their map picks are, not even interested in, making changes or doing things differently, or at least trying being proactive, because I mean, I can't even explain it. It looks very painful to watch things like this, but at the end of the day, we still gotta finish this job. Scar's position was revealed. I mean, that camera is expected at that position. But look at Mighty. He is trying to push in, okay, towards Boba. He has went in. Ryzen will find Ginola. They're not able to win those battles now. I want to see what Mighty will do. He has gone in. And Knight Rider has taken down Ryzen. Before anything Mighty could do, they have lost 2 players. So there's nothing they can work with, right?
They're just falling like dominoes in so many of these rounds, and it's pretty much apparent here. GANGAN Galaxy are a squad that just can't really find an answer for a lot of these fights, but never mind, maybe they do. Down over to a 2v2 now. ASTERISK, they need to try and turn this one back. Scar's positioning is perfect. They've gotten the A side completely empty for themselves, but the problem is, the main problem for them will be other little boy, because he is playing the Omen, but never mind. It's going to be Star with a fast peek. He's going to be able to find that kill, and that was a very crucial one at that. An opening frag as such is pretty much a necessity for them to find. But now, with Caramel in for the back end, he's been the Pokemon on the server for a lot of these rounds. Shots now already being given on either side. Mighty with a couple of pre-fires. He's going to be able to find that catch. GANGAN Galaxy, they still show signs of life here. Winning on the pistol round once again, similar to what they have done on that first initial half. But these pistol rounds are the only rounds that they're able to find value upon. As soon as the second round rolls in, ASTERISK, they turn into an absolute demons of a team. Because of the way that the game is generally being played out, you can tell that GANGAN Galaxy are in a little bit more of a better notion in a couple of these rounds too, because they have good reads, they just don't know how to execute upon it, while ASTERISK, they have both the reads and the execution down to a system.
True. Pushing Scar. Really expect him? Yeah, he expected Caramel. Caramel is down. There's another one, little boy, who has also pushed in from the mid doors. The spike will be planted towards B. This is going to be the interesting part. You know, we always love how the comebacks come in. We were enjoying it when ASTERISK was doing it. And now we're again up for a run where GANGAN Galaxy is trying to make something in this kind of situation. Now let's see how this situation is going to turn for them, because it's not going to be easy. Mighty, okay, shot that was expected. He swaps, but then Mighty with that shot takes down Ryzen. Ryzen did his part. Kibojin and the rest too, just waiting till die on the spike. They did not want to give those points, which is actually fair. And Knight Rider dies with them. This is gonna be the most important round here. Aggressive. When the full buy round comes in for ASTERISK, and these guys are gonna be on their bonus buy. So if they convert this, we might see a comeback at our hands, and we might see the 5th round also. I mean the 6th round also, not the 5th.
GANGAN Galaxy now. Their overall buys are looking pretty good too. It's not almost impossible to try and get this, but the Outlaws in their hands, they need to try and find value early on for these kills. And I'm pretty sure that Scar is just gonna play to completely block off their entry points. Risen spots out one player with a jump spot, needs to immediately try and survive for as long as he possibly can. Owl Drone's positioning was perfect. Knight Rider comes alive for this one. Mighty is going to be able to shut down another. And wait a minute, the members of GANGAN Galaxy, they're turning this on its head. 2-player advantage now going for them. This attack side looking to be clean, but Mighty falling asleep on the angle. Mighty, what are you looking at, buddy? Completely standing still, just giving the opportunities away. Scar's going to be able to shut down little boy there. That's perfect coming out from him. That's a smoker now gone. Kibone needs to be the one to step onto the table, but up against Knight Rider, the fact that he's having such a good day is so apparent. Doesn't matter what agent he is playing, he is still the aimer that we know and love from map number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Knight Rider taking the stage and centerfold once again. As ASTERISK, they're showcasing that they can bleed. That's 3 rounds now gone. As I'm pretty sure if they lose one more, Antidote is going to put his foot down. Oh, never
He's
mind. He already
put it.
did put his foot down.
Yeah, I mean, he would want his boys that they shouldn't be feeling that pressure, right? He knows he's an experienced champion, and that is why he is doing this. And I told you, in the beginning of this series, right, that once that man has arrived in the boot camp, things have changed, and of course, we saw it, right? The confidence they have showcased in these 10 rounds they have won on Sunset has been different. It looks like a different Asterisk we saw on Karod, and this is a different Asterisk we are watching right now. But this is Valorant. Things can change pretty fast. Every round is important. Every second and every moment you spend on the map is going to be so crucial, because this is a must-win game for both of them. And whoever loses will of course bow out, and whoever wins at least get a hands at 1 lakh rupees out of that 3 lakh Indian rupees we every day showcase in the beginning, where Chilcott is waiting. Who's going to be their opponents? Is it going to be Asterisk or Gun Galaxy? At this point of time, if Asterisk wins this, we will move on towards heaven. But scoreline says 10-5. They don't have a bye. And the trap needs to be broken, but nobody's supporting him. And Scaramel, he misses 10 shots, I guess, and finally gets one. Keybon is still alive. Shock Dart will move. They need to watch market. They're not watching. Asterisk has only one player, but then Little Boy can recover a gun. The spike has not been planted. They would want to play things slow. One Galaxy do not want to mess things up in this round. The spike. Oh wait, I thought that he destroyed the owl drone. Okay, then now they'll know that he's there towards CT. Spike will be planted for main. Enola will play close, I guess. He has the outlaw. He just needs one shot, but Little Boy, he has been the man for Asterisk. He has not jumped down. The question is, oh my goodness, Kinola converts this. Calm as cucumber with 2 HP still left in his armor. He gets the important round. He gets the important clutch. And if you are wanting to convert these kind of clutches, you want to climb ranks in Valorant, you want to compete as well, don't let your device hold you back. Intel Gamer Days are here, and now is the perfect time to upgrade, because Reliance Digital has brought some exciting offers on various Intel Core powered gaming laptops until 14th of September. You can get cashbacks up to 8,000 on purchase of Intel Core powered gaming laptops, and an exchange benefits worth up to 20,000 Indian rupees. Also, on purchase of qualifying Intel products, you can get a bundle which includes an upcoming AAA FPS title worth approximately 4,000 and other creative softwares. These offers won't last long, so don't wait. Click the link in the chat and claim these exciting offers at reliancedigital.in.
For now, the players of GANGAN Galaxy, they're going to be picking up a couple of offers of their own if they're not careful, and that offer is going to be a Cypher Tripwire straight to the face. Mighty, you can't go in like this, buddy. You know that the Cypher could be there. Wait for an owl drone or something at the bare minimum. A little bit risky here already. That the members of GANGAN Galaxy, they're knee-deep in enemy territory. They're going to be falling like flies. They made a risky play, and they tried to do it a little bit too fast. Mighty, he already got caught out by the tripwire. Why are you still trying to go in for a fight and run in towards the site? Instead, you should be pushing into Boba. GANGAN Galaxy, they got way too overconfident, and that overconfidence just cost them to lose out on the round.
I mean, I don't see shock darts being used inside the site from Granola. They're missing a trick, of course. The shock dart is usually used to, at expected positions. And Caramel has been very, very smart with his setups, with his strip wires, with his camera placements. And he has been catching players left and right and creating value for them. This time, looks like Mighty wants to go again pretty quickly. But Mighty, what is he trying to do and what is he trying to achieve with movements like this? Oh no. Oh, okay. That was a good move. With the camera being placed pretty late, but then he couldn't get the pick. The trade wasn't there. Kibon knows. Kibon is low on HP though. There's a player, okay. He needs support, so Scar is lone. Scar is there alone. And Scar! Oh no. Can't do anything. Ganola there finds two, but then Ryzen, he trades them up. It's a 1v3 situation for Knight Rider. He'll get stuck with the fault line and Yash will find his kill. Match point for Asterisk, and we, of course, have a good chance of, seeing the lights of heaven.
You would expect a Knight Rider to maybe use a flash or two to facilitate Scar to get into a better position, because he can flash through that frontal wall and Scar would have an easier time to take that fight. But no, it's just been such a rough story for them. There's so many of these rounds where Knight Rider could have just helped out his teammates get to a better spot, but it's been so on and off. In some situations it works, at others it just doesn't. Fast rush once again being done, and Mighty's just gonna get caught out by another tripwire, one after the other. These tripwires have been a big nuisance on their side. GANGAN Galaxy actually lose out on a couple of their members, but the trades still go in their favor to the slightest of degrees here. As for now, stability has been found as Asterisk, they are down on a 3v2 situation, but even then, not really the most impossible of ones. Depends on how the utility is being utilized. Not really the best of flashes being done. Knight Rider in a really bad spot. They do get caught off with the last player to be spotted, but Scar one tapping away. 7-12. As GANGAN Galaxy, they keep their dreams alive for just one more round.
The score is exactly in the same spot where it was for Asterisk in the last game. 7 with the match point on the other team. With these kind of situations, you really can't have, much options, right? Left out with so less. And this is where, of course, we'll see how things turn out. Is it going to end in this one, or we are going to have a game in our hands? Okay, Yash and Mighty both kissed each other. Rolling Thunder being committed. Mighty got the better of Yash over there. Rolling Thunder connected, but nobody went in, actually. Yeah, this is interesting. Players are rotating back towards A. They're wanting to sell this as a fake, but this isn't a fake. Are they going back? Oh no, they are going back. They're thinking take a fall back. Is this a good decision? Ashes has Caramel's tripwires and camera placed over there. The shock dart being used on Little Boy, but Little Boy didn't receive any damage. Ganola and Little Boy with this fight. Ganola, no, with the shotgun he gets the trade. Numbers in their favor. They're rotating back towards A, and I'm sure Caramel will have that read. Will mark Scar over there. He has his mark positions covered, all bases covered, but Knight Rider will keep on expect this position, but Ryzen was there. He was coming around and he caught Knight Rider. Here you go. Caramel finds Gorang. He finds Scar, and he gets the third one as well, and he shuts them down. Caramel makes sure that heaven is something we move on to.
Caramel. This guy's name will be on our lips for this very reason. Because when he starts to heat up, there's absolutely nothing that you can do to try and stop him. Very similar to Knight Rider, both of these players have phenomenal aim, but it takes them a little bit of time and of course the momentum to really get the ball rolling in their court. He had such a rough performance in game number 1, but as soon as game number 2 rolled around, the guy turned up the heat. Now this is Asterisk that we know, ladies and gentlemen, to be the best team in this entire tournament, and they have showcased to us exactly why. The overall set plays that they were trying to do, the adaptations that they were bringing onto the table, the way that Caramel played his tripwire placements as well, they were none the wiser for it. And the fact that Ganola was on the opposite side of the map, mind you, where the Cypher was not sitting in, this was already set in stone that this was going to happen. Knight Rider was lurking on mid while Scar was with the team. Hello, in what universe do you think this is gonna work? GANGAN Galaxy, they have their entire roles messed up. The breach should never be on mid. I get it, you wanted to go in for a set play from tiles, but after you play from tiles, you need to rendezvous with your team again so that you could at least give them some flashes. What was going on for GANGAN Galaxy for this particular map? Sunset was a disaster to watch. And game number 3 is probably gonna be the same as well, because not having a comfort pick to go onto Haven, I'm pretty sure that Knight Rider once again is gonna be going onto that breach. I'm not gonna say that Knight Rider is a bad player, but his agent is not breach. He just doesn't know how to play that initiator role that well. You need to give him something that he's a lot more comfortable in. And honestly, he's gonna take over the entire server just by himself. Go for a double duelist setup. Give Knight Rider what he needs, because if you just facilitate his needs, he's going to be able to perform. We have seen that in map number 1, that he on that chamber single-handedly brought so many rounds
Yeah.
for his team that we lost count of.
Mhm. Let's have a look at the scoreboard. The scoreboard will, of course, showcase what happened there. There's nothing much from the likes of GANGAN Galaxy over there. Scar, of course, top fragging, but then this is not something which is expected from every individual out there, be it Scar, be it Canola, be it Knight Rider, Mikey, and Gorang, because I mean they weren't looking in their elements. First of all, secondly, the kind of decision making or the individual things they were trying to do was not at all recommended. As fairly aggressive, you pointed out that Knight Rider isn't comfortable. I'm sure Mighty, after the performance he showcased in the last map, Corrode, um, I mean, this is something which is not expected out of him, specifically when he is in Neon main. He should be the one who should be, on the fragging list, at least topping the charts. But both the ciphers were on their best. Caramel again with 25 frags. He was super good. I mean, we saw that bits and parts on that Vice on Corrode. He was doing his part, but Lil Boy was better over there. But this time, I think everybody played their part. They were complementing each other. The information was relayed properly. Those corners were checked. Those strips were placed superbly by Caramel. I mean, I was really impressed with how he was, changing things up with those camera placements, with the strip wires. And I think almost in every round, he had some different kind of setups. So he was mixing it up, and it was very confusing for the other team. And of course, Ginola didn't use his shock dart to its best to destroy his trips. Neither did the camera go early on in the round. So yeah, he could create those value, and no surprise at all, he is the most valuable player aggressive.
25-11 with a 40% headshot percentage almost. Caramel just hit every shot that was given to him. As soon as they entered Caramel's side, you know for a fact that Caramel was gonna get a kill or two for his team. There was no situation where he wouldn't. To have a sentinel like that on your team, a requirement that they didn't have in game number 1, it was pretty much apparent that game number 2, like I told you, right, that game number 2 is where Asterisk will have a little bit more of an urgency for their team, where they're going to have a little bit more time and, of course, better game plans going for themselves. Sunset, arguably one of their best maps in the entire game. But as we move on down onto map number 3, that's also one of the maps that are known to be their own home turf because of the Viper-based combination that they do play. Not a lot of teams have figured it out, or will GANGAN Galaxy be the first one to do so and take that victory for themselves and channel the energy that they had in map number 1. But for now, as we set up game number 3, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out all the links on the description and also the pinned comment on the side for Reliance Digital if you want to get yourself an Intel Core powered gaming laptop. As we take a short little break, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with a lot more action for the Intel Gamer Days Valorant Community Cup. And we are back,
We are
ladies and
back
gentlemen,
up.
with the Intel Gamer Days Valorant. Oh, I thought I was going to be
It's
the one
okay.
starting it, but never mind. Ladies and gentlemen, we're both starting it together. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the Intel Gamer Days Valorant Community Cup. As honestly speaking, we're both excited for this one. That's why we both wanted to start things off with it. Because
True.
it's game number 3 for GANGAN Galaxy going up against the side of Asterisk. You know for a fact that the games are heated up when both casters are messing things up. Because at this point, you already know that we're excited, and I'm pretty sure that the players are excited as well. And also, kind
True.
of sad that one of them have to bow out of this tournament. Which one will it be? I'm not going to be the one to be the devil's advocate here, but I do think that it's going to be GANGAN Galaxy because they are not as comfortable on their agent selections for this particular map. While we have seen Asterisk pull off comeback after comeback on this map, it was a 90 goddamn 3 once, right? When
Yeah,
they
true.
were playing up against Rat Syndicate on this particular map.
Yeah.
And this is the map where they have proven time in and time out that doesn't matter what's going to happen to them on that attack side. As soon as that defense rolls in, they're going to be a team that is absolutely impossible to stop.
True. And I mean, if Current Galaxy has watched the last match against Rat Syndicate, they would have prepared. Knight Rider, as you said, he has to go on to that breach, which is something he is not comfortable on. And once you're not comfortable on an agent like that, specifically if it's a breach, it becomes really hard for your team to fall into places, right? Can be all over the place, which something Gun Galaxy doesn't want. Coming so close after winning the first map, they do not want to bow out. When Asterisk on the other end, after pulling the map of Sunset right in their kitty, where they were counted out on Core Road, it was a complete shattering performance. Where Asterisk could not even find anything out of that map, where they were portraying a situation where they got few rounds, but then we know what happened there. They messed up in 11 rounds. The scoreline was 11-1 when the swap happened. So yeah, the Caramel, Ryzen, and Lil Boy, Yash, and Kibon have gone out with a similar kind of setup which we saw yesterday. And there is a Killjoy in place. Of course, it's going to be a little difficult again with that, Nano Swarms and Turret and the lockdown, because that is going to come down really hard. And this is something which Kibon would have to understand. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult how Rat Syndicate found it.
Absolutely. It all really came down to one particular thing too, right? Is there's a reason why the Viper is so strong on this map, because if you have a Killjoy on your team, what's the biggest problem that you have as a Killjoy? You can't really walk close enough to the spots where you're supposed to place your lockdowns down without investing a lot of utility to try and take that space. The Viper wall completely nullifies that. You can walk into the A-shot position for free almost because you have that Viper with you to slowly lurk up on that angle, and you're forcing the defenders to invest a lot of utility to try and even gain information on you on what you're trying to do on the side of a main. It's those small nitty-gritty details that Asterisk have in proper tone with one another. And even though GANGAN Galaxy, they're starting off on this defensive side, I'm a little bit worried because Asterisk on the attack, they have proven to be an absolutely insurmountable force that very few teams are able to read. GANGAN Galaxy, with their raw mechanical skill alone, they've gone pretty far, but unless they have the proper reads on what they're going to try to do next, this map is not going to favor them that much.
True. They lost the controller already. And it's going to be interesting. They're moving in towards with no smokes, towards Heaven and City. And then Galaxy, how will they control? They have to put in bodies online. They do put in, but then Lil Boy finds two. Lil Boy has been the star fragger. Even if he has only been the most valuable player in the first game, but the contribution and the impact he has created, I mean, that's on another level. Car gets two, but he will be taken off. Not easy to take down 5 players with the Ghost, of course. Not that it hasn't been done, but then 9 out of 10 times we'll expect the team to finish things up pretty easily. Then that's what happened. The first round coming in for Asterisk. So yeah, good start from Asterisk. Now we would see how GANGAN Galaxy replies, because the last time on Corrode, when things went in their favor, they replied pretty well on that eco round. Knight Rider. He is ready. He is anchoring C, but then he's alone. There's no setup whatsoever. They thought that there was a trip. The Cypher who's holding it, but then Cypher is towards A. And now the positions would be revealed, and they would not mind rushing in towards C. The fault line will come in early. All the utilities being committed now. Knight Rider, he has only one bullet now. He misses, and of course, keep on. Goodness me, Knight Rider, what is happening with him? The site is up for grabs. As I said, of course, once the utilities are being dumped and Knight Rider commits, there's no coming back. And as and when he falls, it's gonna be a hard retake. The planning wasn't the best. Gorang here. He looks like he's going towards garage, trying to see that if anybody is sitting down below windows. This situation, I don't think they're gonna commit at this point of time, except for Yash. He has that Bucky, but that shock dart, I mean, just makes things more difficult for him. They're just gonna wait and die on that spike. Kibon, he's waiting. Will he find another one? No, he won't. All of them are just gonna go in. And a good round coming in from Asterix again. Second round for Asterix. It's a good start for them. For all the viewers out there, I want to say that this is the best of 3 series. This is the lower bracket final, which is happening right now. From here, there is only one-way ticket. Whoever wins this moves ahead towards the grand finals, which is going to take place tomorrow against Chilcod. But then, the first map was taken by GANGAN Galaxy. The second map came in favor of Asterisk. This is the third. This is the decider, where Asterisk has started things pretty quickly with getting 2 rounds in their favor. Mighty, he needs support. He needs Knight Rider to play with him. If he tries to try and find value, and if Knight Rider is playing solo, I don't know that he would be able to find so value, right? Aggressive. This point of time, Caramel and all the players are jumping down. They're wanting to go towards B. Caramel will hold Scar over here. This is not gonna go.
This is bad.
So
No!
Yeah, exactly.
Mighty!
Caramel might find Scar. Caramel might find Scar. The spike will be planted. Exactly. Caramel finds the timing as well. Everything going in favor of Asterisk. GANGAN Galaxy are just clueless. And I still don't understand. They have not recovered from the last game. Yeah, aggressive. I still see Knight Rider playing solo. He's not able to support their duelist. And Mighty is finding difficult to find big things.
Yeah, he can't really play as aggressive as he generally does now. These last couple of rounds have really just boiled down to whether or not, hey, are we going to be able to find a kill? Are we going to be able to find a little bit of space for our team to play for? No, then we're just going to fall Mighty as well in this last round. He had a golden opportunity to find a double kill for himself, but he's just missing out on these key shots. Resident's going to be able to find one almost immediately. Ganola does get the trade. Little Boy does lose his life, so overall, not really the worst of rounds for the members of GANGAN Galaxy. They tried to go in for the save, but they just couldn't. But these 2 weapons that they're able to carry forward will be able to give them a little bit of an urgency that they can play for at the bare minimum. But even then, Mighty, he needs to step above and beyond his pay grade to try and turn this one around. Didn't really have the best of starts for these last couple of rounds here. Now, he really needs to step onto the limelight and onto the table for this. GANGAN Galaxy looking to see how far they can go with this one. It's Ganola. Recon Bolt in hand already goes in for that first bit of information towards the A main sightline. They don't have any good calls on where Asterix are trying to go to, and Risset's going to be the first one to take that engagement. Garong, he had the perfect off angle, but even then, it just didn't really matter. Mighty in a tough spot, beautifully placed out Tripwire to go in for that cash. And now, with the immediate push, they do have the answer. GANGAN Galaxy, finally, fighting back in the way that you would have expected. And these Tripwire placements now being known means that Asterisk, they need to change out their game plan on where they want to go next. Caramel was in towards mid, didn't opt for a very deep and heavy lurk on that fight. But for now, instead, Mighty will have to see where they're going to go with this one, because they need a little bit more space to play for. Timing is key for them as the positions keep on leading them onto a better angle. Deep into enemy territory now. It's going to be the members of Asterisk. They do get the plan down, but they have to worry about the tripwire placements. Again, no one broke the trip. What is happening? Why is no one breaking the trip? You know that the trip was there. Your player died to that tripwire. Did Yash not give the call? Because... oh god, this has just gone from bad to worse. But never mind, little boy is going to be able to find that kill. Caramel, last one alive here, in towards the garage side. He's going to be able to find the second. GANGAN Galaxy down over to a 2v3 situation to try and opt for this retake, but it's just not going to happen because Caramel alive and kicking to keep the ball rolling, and Derek Horde 0-4. Asterisk, somehow they turned this round on its head.
I mean, this looks like bunch of clueless players. GANGAN Galaxy, from being the best in the lobby, has just gone to being the below average team in the lobby. I mean, it's so hard for me to say it, but it's painful to watch something like this. And finally, like after an age, I think Nighthawk has decided to take a pause, which was required, because going from going 1-up in the first map, from being 4-0 down in the decider, it's a journey, of course. And Knight Rider himself isn't able to, function properly. He needs to be the one who needs to help home, Mighty at this point of position, in this point of time. And the information needs to be passed on. Things are happening like this. Players needs to communicate, and I'm sure a bit of pause would help them. A breather is required for them. Can they change things up pretty quickly? But Asterisk, they have their Hunter's Fury, they have their From the Shadows, and once you have a double controller setup on Heaven, I mean, you have so many things to do. You have so many areas that you can exploit as a team. And Lil Boy, with that Viper, he has just become more lethal. He has been doing a brilliant job today. On any controller, he has been dynamic. He has been flexible, of course. Okay, finally, we see something happening. This can be... oh no, this can be pretty defeating. This player is gonna get stuck. He is stuck. Snake bite, and nothing he could do over there. Gorang, poor Gorang. The push came in, but of course, execution wasn't the best.
Gonna need to see how much more that they can try and find. GANGAN Galaxy already, they're just walking into the awaiting arms of the enemies. They're falling like flies. Every single turnaround point that they try and find is just not enough. Caramel with another one for himself as well. Ganola immediately gets brought back down onto his knees. Now finally, it's that last player to be expected. In a bad position, in a bad spot. There's nothing that they could have done to try and turn this one around, but never mind. Mighty! Give it up for the player in blue. Okay, never mind. The electrical current running wild for Mighty here. He's looking for more. He's going to be able to find his fourth. He's looking for his fifth, but he's just not going to be able to get it. And almost the members of GANGAN Galaxy, they turned this one on its head because Mighty, he's an absolute force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. I mean, this is something which they required, right? They needed Mighty to step up big time. Mighty just popped up. The third shot was something I was impressed with. Yash, he was crouching and trying to do a 360 over there, but then... yeah. Mighty. I'm sure that they couldn't convert the round, but something will change up. The confidence, you'll see the confidence. You see Mighty, he's already there, but then he needs support. He is using his relay board to push in, but then the paranoia will help. He couldn't find the value, and he has to run back, and this is where the breach is required for that fault line from garage at least. The breach is playing towards A. partially towards Link.
No. He was
He could have,
actually on B. He was on the back of C side, but he was a bit too far. So the fault line was a bit too late.
yeah. I mean, if this push was premeditated, then he should have been much closer. This is something which they need to fix quickly. Ryzen should have been dead over there. But yeah, she's just walking in, but the trap is there. The trap will be broken. The paranoia will come in, but yeah, still finds value, and Scar connects with 2. Which is good. Numbers still in favor of GANGAN Galaxy. Shock Dart will delay things. Mighty is there towards heaven. How will they find value? They have Caramel. Where is Caramel right now? Caramel with Keyborn. Okay, not with Keyborn, with Killjoy. With Lil Boy, actually. He's moving towards a different side and actually towards C, I guess. Keyborn wants to rotate as well. Asterisk has the Hunter's Fury. Play the post-plan situation. Knight Rider has seen him. Knight Rider has seen him. He can use the Aftershock. He isn't using it, but he uses it so late. Mighty used the overdrive. I mean, this is something which these guys needs to fix, but Mighty is again turning things up. This is a situation where Keyborn could have played it with the Hunter's Fury, but he wanted to save it. But can you imagine things? Knight Rider has so much to do. He could have, he saw the player jumping in. He could have used the Aftershock so early. Instead he waited. And imagine if Mighty didn't have the overdrive.
It would have been disaster brewing for this team.
Exactly.
This is just this very similar performance to what happened up against Chillcore too, right? I think you remember this, that when GANGAN Galaxy were up against the members of Chillcore on the exact same map, we saw a very similar performance happen where GANGAN Galaxy just were not able to convert a lot of these rounds, purely because the breach utility was a bit too far off. But we're beating a dead horse out here. There's nothing really much that you can do about that. They need someone to fill the role of the breach, and Knight Rider is the best one to do it, it seems. No one else can really take up the mantle like that easily. But up against Asterisk, taking up the mantle is one thing, and being able to perform with it is a complete another. These attack rounds for Asterisk have been so crucial and so easy for them in so many of these rounds. Nola, though, finally shuts down Risen. That's going to be a big kill for them. If the Viper Split did not exist in this particular round, this could have been an easy one for them to win. Caramel up for the running. He's going to be able to find the multi-frags that he needs. Still alive and kicking will be the last couple of members from the side of GANGAN Galaxy, but not for long because Little Boy pops in for the spray and immediately shuts down the last two. 1-6, ladies and gents. As GANGAN Galaxy, they just still haven't figured out a way to convert these rounds and make it consistent.
Yeah, true. Very, very true. And this is something which needs to be fixed really quickly because these guys are just running away with rounds. You know, you do not want a swap again happening with a 10-2 scoreline or 11-1 where, you know, other team has no option to make a comeback. I mean, it's so difficult to make a comeback from a scoreline like 10-2 or 11-1. You just don't have those cushionings. It's very frustrating as a team, okay. Did Lil Boy get caught off with that shock dart? He did actually. He did get some chip damage. But Knight Rider, he's there. What is he waiting with? He had a flash in his hand. He has a flash in his hand. But then what will he do? Oh my god. He's using Breach as a solo agent, which is not how Breach is played. Breach as an agent is slow. It's not a Neon that he can run away and that's not how a position where a Breach can play. Oh no. This is a mess. No, I'm aggressive. I'm even tired of saying the same thing.
We all are. But that's kind of where we are at now. Nothing that we really can even do. Asterisk, this is their best map. Like, I'm not even going to say anything bad about the GANGAN Galaxy because they really need to end things off on game number 2. Because if they couldn't, map number 2 and map number 3 was guaranteed to go in the favor. Sorry, map number 3, sorry, was guaranteed to go in the favor of Asterisk here. It's going to be a tough loss and a tough pill for them to swallow too because GANGAN Galaxy They really did pull the distance for this one. That first map going in their favor on such a steep scoreline painted a completely different picture, being like, hey, GANGAN Galaxy as a team, maybe they've figured things out, but that's not going to be the case.
Problem is they don't have the economy to support their utilities at this point of time. Also, Galaxy only has the From the Shadows activated, but then nobody has been, taking the responsibility. Mighty showed his fury in just one round, but that also wasn't the round where he could convert it in as an ace and convert or get the point for his team. Spike being planted, of course, the site was wide open. They're taking a gamble of stacking one side. This retake is something which I want to watch with double controllers, with the snake bite. These things are going to be so crucial. Of course, Yash. He steps in. He won. The only man is Gorang, but he has nothing to do. They're just playing and fooling around right now. I mean, the scoreline says 8-1. Night Rider has the Rolling Thunder now. It's going to be interesting. When the timeout was taken, I was surprised that I thought that was the buy round, but it wasn't the buy round where the timeout was taken. It was the round where it was an eco round for them. They didn't have the proper buys to go to support their, talk or the pep talk the Night Rider discussed. But since then, there has been no pause. Players have been fighting it individually. This time the Breach and the Neon are playing together. Something which you might see that this is going to be positive.
Oh no!
Lil Boy still took down Mighty. Ginola takes down Ryzen. But then, before he could do anything, numbers are still in favor. But Caramel, oh my god, this guy is just... I mean, he's just being the difference between GANGAN Galaxy and Asterisk. Of course, he has the lockdown. No utility to derail it, of course. Varang, what is he planning? Will he use will he use his From the Shadows at the last moment? No, he will get... Oh my goodness, he gets stuck. He got stuck. Plant will come in. Caramel will find Scar. Positions expected. Paranoia will come in. One position expected at least. It's going to be difficult for this man. 9th round coming in for Asterisk. It's just getting round after the other.
These frags are what you need here, ladies and gentlemen. GANGAN Galaxy now are pretty much at death's door. Not really a lot of places that you can run from. There's just not really a lot of situations that you can come back into this game. Your team's not on the same page here. All of your players are just running around doing their own thing. Possibly giving up, or even worse, you don't know what to expect from them. It's wrong now. He's gonna try to be the one to step onto the table. Just try to give a bit of an advantage to the team, but it's never gonna be that easy. Timing is gonna play a crucial role. The way that they're utilizing the Killjoy turret as well, just to catch any aggression onto mid and allow Little Boy to go in for a free swing. I like these small bits and details that Asterisk have already implemented. Yash is going to be the first one to find it. Straight from inside of the smoke, I do believe. No, it's going to be actually the player playing close towards the side of A main. That's the first initial bait already done. Mighty's position now revealed. Mighty needs to try and make a run for it with the Vandal in his hands. The rotations are going to be called, and Z-side now being the side that they have to worry about. But Yash, be careful where you go, because Cypher Tripwires are still up and ready for the different positions. They know the spot, they need the kill, and they're going to be able to get it. Scar's gonna be the one to find it straight through the back end, but Yash gets a double. Never mind, Yash! The aim working wonders for this young man. It's GANGAN Galaxy now. A very winnable round for them, but Yash pulled off a heroic that should not have ever happened.
Yeah. sums up the day for GANGAN Galaxy, right? Aggressive. Since Corrode, it has all been asterisk. There has been no reply whatsoever. They somehow managed to pull things back. Asterisk. Sometimes it's Yash, sometimes it's Caramel, sometimes it's Lil Boy, sometimes it's Ryzen, sometimes it's Kibon. Everybody has just delivered. And Caramel, wow, I mean, that guy, on any Sentinel he give him, that guy's aim, he just works like a madman. Okay, the fault line comes in, the recon will reveal his position, and Lil Boy will be caught off guard. But then, the push comes in. Hunter's Fury and the overdrive being committed. Scar finds one, but then there are a lot of U2s to counter with. Knight Rider. Enola finds Caramel. Enola will be caught off guard. Ryzen was there, but then they should not mess things up right now. They're rotating too quickly. They still have a lot of time. They just need to avoid Knight Rider, who is just playing Link. It's the perfect positioning. But he needs to understand he's actually gauging the player's positioning. Will it be a timing? If this position is going to be interesting. Oh, he has spotted Omen. The Omen is spotted. No, he fired. Now the paranoia will come in. No, my goodness me, Knight Rider, what have you done again, my friend? This is just helping Asterisk. And you should not be doing this. Mighty, what was he thinking? With the knife in hand. Wait. The TP will... Oh, no. Even I don't know what is going on. I cannot explain things like this, right? Aggressive. It's so difficult.
It's just a normal game of Valorant. Chalk it up to that, Yororo. This is how it sometimes will go, and I was a little bit scared for a second. Gorong, he nearly found that headshot there. It could have fallen. For GANGAN Galaxy, it's all about the closing moments now. 1-11. Pretty much the exact same scoreline where we left off on in game number 1.
True.
Will GANGAN Galaxy be able to go in for a turnaround and possibly maybe mount a comeback similar to what Asterisk did, but fall short at the very end? Could be the case. You don't really know. But we're gonna need to see where they're gonna go with this one, because GANGAN Galaxy have just given too much away, and Asterisk are just able to pick all of it up and keep it in their own prowess. I don't know what else to really tell you guys back at home, but to try and win out 10 goddamn rounds, they need to dig in deep, and it's gonna be Mighty. It's gonna turn this one back. Never mind.
No. I mean, it always feels like we're speaking too early. We should start speaking once the round is done, Aggressive. That is something we should do. Once the round is done, okay, Knight Rider finds one, but it's a 1v2. He's stuck in the corners. The 12th round comes in really quickly, as expected, and of course they can do all of this now. It's match point and game point. Astra is one step closer from qualifying for the grand finals, where nobody gave them a chance against Rat Syndicate. And also coming on to this game, we were expecting GANGAN Galaxy to close things up, but then Asterisk proved everyone wrong, showcasing that they had the talent earlier, they had it now, and they're just showing it that they are going to do it. And Chillcords, if I am Chillcords, I should be worried. I mean, you should be worried, because they have been the dark horse in the tournament at least.
Kristen just sitting right in the middle. I love the confidence of this guy, making absolutely no noise, knowing that this is not really a general position where players do often spam. Caramel just gets away with daylight robbery. This is murder at its finest.
Yeah.
They're just shutting everyone down. GANGAN Galaxy trying to go in for a rush roll. Ganola doesn't really have the weapons to try and make anything happen. Little boy just swings across, gets the kill. 1-13 on the scorecard, ladies and gentlemen. And it will be none other than Asterisk being the ones to be the players to head down over towards that grand final stage. And even though I'm sad to say, but GANGAN Galaxy, they're gonna bow to this tournament with absolutely nothing to their name. And Asterisk, they pretty much guaranteed themselves a small chunk of that prize pool, being the 1 lakh INR for the second place position.
True. I mean, the way they have showed character after losing the first map consecutive on consecutive days. I mean, they lost against that syndicate. We thought that this should be over with a 2-0 situation, but it didn't happen yesterday. Again, coming into this map, they lost the first map. I mean, that was a landslide that was happening. It was a similar scoreline. What happened to Gangan Galaxy? They were on the receiving end, asterisk on Corrode, but then they made sure that they show character. They knew that once we move on to Heaven, we can pull things back, and that is what they showcased. They have been the better team, and I mean, obviously they deserve everything they're getting right now.
Yep, absolutely. This is what you would want to see coming out of a team of their caliber. This is what you expected to happen in map number one. Still a little bit of work to be done on the labs here. I'm pretty sure that
Yeah.
they're going to be a little bit unhappy in the way that this game did pan out for them, but it's not really the end of the world because there's still a chance that they can really get themselves back in this particular matchup as well. So
True.
think about it. Like, even when Corrode was a bit of a problem for them, they need to make sure to fix this because up against Chillcord, I don't think they
Yeah.
ever want to pick Corrode if they don't fix things out properly because we've
Correct,
seen
correct,
what
correct.
Chillcord can do on Corrode. And they are a team, mind you, that doesn't scrim that often together. So the fact that they're a group of friends and they're able to do some stuff like that is just insanity. They beat the members of GANGAN Galaxy on this map on a very decisive fashion yesterday. So if that history ever repeats itself, it's gonna go in a very horrendous position if they're not careful about it. So I digress. Map number 2 and map number 3, pretty much a guaranteed ban from Chillcord has to be the map of Haven. They do not want to go up against them here
Has to.
because Haven has been easily their best map for this particular reason. They have drilled it out to the core. They know their ins and outs for the strategy. They know how to utilize that Viper to its fullest caliber, and they are not afraid to take fights. That is one of the biggest points that you have to remember, that Asterisk as a team, they will never shy away from a duel. And this is what was missing from them for that first initial map. But in map number 2 and map number 3, pretty sure that that's kind of the talk that they had. Be confident in their overall play because they weren't looking confident, but as soon as the second and third map rolled in, the team just did a complete and utter 180.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely correct, aggressive on your part. Uh, this is good for Gun Galaxy that this reality check came in at this point of time. If this is something which would have come in the grand finals, that is something for sure it would have been a hard pill to swallow, as you always say. The scoreline says 1-13. I mean, nothing that I can explain here. But then we can always say that Caramel was the best player in this map, and of course, won't be surprised that if he gets the most valuable player and also becomes the MVP of the series. Let's have a look at the most valuable player of the last map, and it is going to be Caramel, of course, again with an average combat score of 345.
The man had 3 KD.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised at all, right? Caramel, I mean, I'm surprised about the fact that on that Sentinel he's able to do that. But then nobody is, questioning his aim. I mean, he is a madman on that aim game. But then moving ahead towards the MVP of the match, it is again him, and again he has a 3 KD, right? 2 KD, actually.
The quick bats is not really strong with Aura. It's completely fine, Aura. We still love you anyways. 300 ACS to his name, though, with a 212 ADR, with a 30% headshot percentage, being on that killjoy, putting up statistics like this as that Sentinel player across 3 maps. Mind you, in that first map, he had the worst performance that we have seen out of him throughout the entire tournament. And he still got a 2 KD. Just goes to show how consistent of a player he was on map number 2 and map number 3. This is what you want to see from a player of his caliber. This is what you want to see from a team of this caliber. Asterisk proved time in and time out that they are a squad that you can rely on. And if you're supporting this team back at home, ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes on them even more, because on that grand final stage, their revenge story has been said, because Chillcord, they were the ones to send them back down here after a very tough and grueling qualifier stage, and of course, that playoff series that they had to go through.
True. I mean, but gamers, do you want to climb the ranks in Valorant and do you want to compete as well as how these players did? Specifically, if you want to be players like Asterisk and Caramel, don't let your devices hold you back. Intel Gamer Days are here, and now's the perfect time to upgrade because Reliance Digital has brought some exciting offers on various Intel Core powered gaming laptops. Until 14th of September, you can get cashbacks up to 8,000 on purchase of Intel Core powered gaming laptops and exchange benefits worth up to 20,000 Indian rupees. Also, on purpose of qualifying Intel products, you can get a bundle which includes the upcoming AAA FPS title worth approximately 4,000 and other creative softwares. These offers won't last long, so don't wait. Click the link in the chat and claim these exciting offers at reliancedigital.in. And this was it. This was Oro, and with me was Aggressive. You guys were watching Intel Gamer Days Valorant Community Cup. We had fun, but we had one last game waiting tomorrow, so don't miss out. Till then, be safe, keep smiling, and good night, guys.